course, we're far from being done. We're still within the world of film and television now. Another amazing film that we will see off the Afriff film trail this festival season is the film Masinga, The Calling. Now, this is a film that we see Hakeem Kae-Kazim as not only a star in the film, but also a producer. Now, I really want to understand a lot more about the film because it's a psychological thriller, and I know that this is a genre that is so close to my heart. Before we get into the conversation, I would like you to take a look at the trailer.
Whoever will receive this message will be cast to death.
And this is an eyeball. Definitely some kind of predator.
Real Russian vodka for the real sexy lady.
Why is she there, director? A damn rookie, not a bloody field operative.
Every rookie must have their first day on the field.
I need you on our team, and it's okay.
This man is going to lead you to darkness.
I see a child who comes after you. Is crying, calling upon your name every day.
This is bullshit. In this world, we all believe in spirits.
I like horror films, but that really got to me. Masinga, The Calling, that was a trailer, and I've got Hakeem Kae-Kazim.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hi. So,
It's not actually a horror film. I heard you say horror film.
I know. I was scared. It sounds like psychological thriller.
It is a psychological thriller. You know, it's about. I won't give the story away, but it's about a man that was born in Southern Africa, but spent most of his life as a man growing up in the UK, and becomes a detective, a policeman in the UK. And then something happens, and he's suddenly called back to his country of birth, where he realizes that something deep and dark in his family has happened, and he gets this calling which he must answer, as well as solving the case that first brought him out here from London. So that's the sort of premise of the story, without giving anything away. So it's not a horror story. I mean, there's horrible bits in it, but it's more of a psychological thriller.
And I think, to be honest, that is the perfect balance between keeping it enjoyable, but adding that little bit of scare factor to it, where you have the psychological thriller genre. So I'm really excited to see that. So in terms of filming this film, how long would you say production was? And considering its genre and type as all, how did you relate to its character?
Well, the production was 4 or 5 weeks, and for me it was wonderful. For 4 or 5 weeks, I think we had a production time, from what I can remember. And relating to his character was nice because, I mean, I was born in Nigeria but lived in London as a kid, and then came back and that sort of stuff. So that was nicely relatable for me in terms of that character. This character is born in Southern Africa and goes to England, and he forgets his Zulu, and he forgets his, like me, I don't speak Yoruba, unfortunately, you know what I mean? And so there were a lot of similarities which I could actually draw on with the character to give it that depth and truth. So yeah, it was an enjoyable experience in that sort of sense, and an experience that it's always wonderful as an actor to sort of gain some knowledge from life, and that's what this did for me, and the spiritual aspect of it that comes through as well, which he also deals with.
You know, I find that with you and the movies that, you know, you've done, there's always an element of self-discovery in it, where you're either doing it, it's either internalized for you as a character, or it's for the benefit of others. So is this something that you're very particular about in the films that, you know, you seek out and that seek you, interestingly, where there's that element of there must be something to discover out of this, either in the film that could even translate to you personally? Yeah,
I mean, I think it's also, it's really about, yes, it's about self-discovery, it's about discovering stuff for other people, it's about discovering culture and how the effect of culture has on all of us, especially those of us that have been transported away from our indigenous culture at home. overseas.
Yeah.
And so it's really about, tying all those journeys together and embracing who I am as an African that was transported willingly overseas, and that's the difference from being a slave or being, or anything else. So yeah, you're right. I mean, that discovery is a really lovely and important thing, and I want to keep on discovering that and keep on, because there's so many different facets of us, of who we are as people from the continent. There isn't just one type, and we've got to discover all those different facets.
Amazing. Now, this film is going to show tomorrow here in Afriff. You are in Lagos.
I know, it's great to be in
I
Lagos.
know.
It's
Talk to me
fantastic.
about the time you've had.
Yeah, so far it's been amazing. Hanging out with John Boyega, who I was in Half of a Yellow Sun with, and it was lovely to see him again, and to see his growth, and to see his passion for Nigeria. So that's always lovely. It's really been really lovely to sort of also feel the passion of the filmmakers and watch them. I've been coming back and forth for many, many years, but to see Nollywood grow, and to see them trying to take on different aspects, and to see them wanting to get bigger and better in their filmmaking. I think it's an exciting time for Nigerian filmmaking and Nigerian filmmakers. Keep growing, keep on pushing the boundaries, keep on wanting to make bigger and better films. And one day Africa will take the lead, like it does in the music.
Yes.
Will take the lead on the world stage in terms of our filmmaking. And I want to be a part of that, and I'm so looking forward to it. And that's why I've come back all the time to encourage and help be a part of that and encourage it. So yeah, no, I think it's an exciting, very exciting time.
It is. I mean, I would always say this. I've always said it. This is the best time to be a creative, and the best time to be a creative is now. And with Afriff, we're looking at the African industry as well. As much as Nollywood is, I would say, the third in line post Bollywood and Hollywood.
Yeah.
I also sometimes ask myself, would we be louder if every single space within Africa was as persistent in its industry as Nollywood is? And is there a way that as we could look at our industry as almost a parent to kind of like spoon feed or grow other industries as well?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I was in Dakar recently for Dakar Series Mania, which was really amazing. It's really came from the French Series Mania thing that they do in the south of France.
Yeah,
and
nice.
It's about series, not about film, but series. But the one thing that I got from that, and the overriding thing, was how the other African nations want to sort of connect us up as a whole, and do those cross-border stories and that sort of thing. And again, I think that's really exciting. The idea of us being a storytelling whole rather than as individual parts. I think that also bodes well, and we can do cross-fertilization in terms of financing and in terms of the type of story. Somebody has approached me to do a Senegalese stroke a South African story. I haven't read it yet, but I think that's fascinating, because we are all over the place. There are many people from Senegal in South Africa, so we must embrace that as well. I think that's very exciting as well.
It is. Now, looking at how long you've been in the industry and how far you've come in it as well, what would you say by far is, sitting here now with the wealth of experience that you've had? I mean, I can only imagine what seeing John Boyega was like. Half of a Yellow Sun was such a while ago, and it is still such an incredible film. And you've made impact upon impact with several movies that you have been in. Your passion as an actor also shines through your films as well. What would you say is certainly the most important, or could be one of the most important values an actor must always carry with him?
I would say, work hard at your craft. Never stop learning, because you don't stop learning. I'm still learning every time I get on a film set. Every time somebody offers me a role, I'm still learning about the craft of, you never stop learning. And I think as long as you're sort of inquisitive enough to always want to keep learning and always want to sort of get better and strive for better and better things as an artist, then I think you're in the right space. I think if you're there just to be a star, then I think you're in the wrong space. We have so much to give within this space of creativity, not just as actors and artists, but in a global level of being able to tell our stories as Africans and tell our truth as Africans. And I think that's really important.
It is. Well, before I let you go, Hakeem, directorial debut.
Yes, yeah.
What's that going to be like?
Well, I don't know what it's going to be like, but I had a fantastic time doing it, and it's and it's a dramedy, it's a comedy drama with serious sort of undertones. But and it's set in. It's about a Nigerian family in the UK, in England. So I shot it all in England. And that sort of thing. So, and it's called It's the Blackness, and it deals with sort of family. It deals with love. It deals with underlying sort of issues of structural and institutional racism, but all within a sort of a comedic sort of setting.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys will get to see it next year, and hopefully you enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it coming to Nigeria, it being a British Nigerian film. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, that would be so exciting. You see, this is what we want to hear, and this is absolutely what we want to see. Hakeem Kae-Kazim, thank you for your time, and thank you for all the contributions that you have also made to the industry, and also thank you for being here
to
improve our creative economy.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be here, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.